Hi, thanks for hanging out. This project, we're going to replace this deteriorating decking and we'll add a deck extension while we're at it. Let's get after it. What are you doing? A lot of these deck boards have started to deteriorate and become unsafe. We'll take those up and replace those. Once we've got those up, we'll have a look at the substructure and see if that's good enough to be able to continue to use. We might need to replace that too. As well as replace the existing decking, we're going to do a deck extension out in this area. It's going to come out 3.6 metres or around about 12 feet, and it'll go between that end post and this post here. That'll give us a beautiful, nice flat area to be able to sit and admire the view and soak up the sunshine. It's going to be very simple, low lying to the ground, and will be a great little addition to the front of this deck. That's the scope of what we need to do. We've got those couple of garden beds to move and we've got to strip the grass off to make room for the new deck. Let's get to it and start demo. Well, the site work is now done and that has exposed the structure for us to have a look at. We will end up replacing this. There are too many pieces of it that are just too far gone to be useful. It won't take much longer to replace it than it would to try to patch all of this, and I'll be a lot happier knowing that I've got a good solid base to work with. The bigger issue are the veranda posts. I didn't expect them to be as bad as they are. The post supports themselves have either completely rusted away and are no longer of any use, or the very bottom of the post has deteriorated enough that the bolts are no longer effective. All of that will need to be addressed. What we'll do is we'll prop the veranda beam, we'll take a piece off the bottom of the post to get back to some good solid material. We'll put these new heavy duty post supports in and put in new concrete to get it all solid and perfect again. Let's get after it. Things are moving well, and here's what we're doing with the post supports. The old ones, the bolts ran from this side to this side and caused some splits in the timber. I've turned these 90 degrees to be able to pull all that together and give me a nice solid base. I've added this spacer in the bottom. When I take that out, the post isn't going to be sitting on the post support itself. It'll be supported by the bolts. That'll stop water sitting in there and deteriorating these too early. Let's start to get those bolts drilled and installed and see how this comes together. What I'm doing here is marking where the top of the joist is going to be on the post support itself. Then I'll measure down to where the bottom of the bearer is going to be, and then I know that that's the highest level that I can come to with my concrete when I fill it in. I've finished bracing these. These are now ready to be concreted in. Let's fire up the mixer and get started. As you saw, I started using a cardboard form to bring the concrete up above the ground level, and that worked really well. What I found was the concrete was stiff enough to be able to form without it, and that's how I finished the last few posts. That seemed to work quite well for me. I think this is a good place to wrap up and call this a part 1 for this series of the deck build. I need to let this concrete cure with the temporary props and bracing in place before we get started on the rest of the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks so much for watching. Any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. And until next time, life's short, so get after it.